Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Heroes Peak podcast. I am your host, Chris. I'm here with my two co-hosts. They're always here with me. They never leave me. They never show up for the pod and then leave for 20 minutes and then come back and then fight about it. No, it's James and Mike. How you guys doing?
Cold, man. Cold out here in the
It is
Northeast.
cold. I got my little heater on.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly out. So.
Oh, you got your hat on.
Mm-hmm.
Mike doing his best Canuck.
That's right.
So we are here in 2025 to talk about 2024 as a whole. We're going to talk about TV for 2024. This podcast is pretty simple. We're going to each do our top 5. We are going to explain in short why we thought one of our picks was a top 5 for us, and then if somebody agrees, they can kind of latch on if they want. But other than that, it's pretty short. We are going to do a worst of the year, and we will do one shout out to go along with this. It was a very long year this year. We did our first moon landing. The Berlin Wall fell.
What?
You know, Elon Musk going to the White House instead of being a Lethal Weapon villain. You know, it's a long year. So, if there's anything else social, public, interesting you want to talk about, we can do that. But I think we're probably just going to get right to the best TV of
Right in there.
2024.
Right in there.
All right, so we'll start with number 5, and I'm going to start with Mike. What was your number 5 for 2020?
For TV shows, I am gonna go with Apple TV's Dark Matter.
Okay, I have not watched that.
Yeah, so
not mentioned for me.
We had actually quite a bit of sci-fi stuff this year, surprisingly. A lot of stuff coming back, and so Dark Matter was a new series with Uncle Owen from the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah, I don't know what else he was in, but yeah.
He was in Warrior, remember, with Tom Hardy?
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah. He's a good actor. He's a really good actor. And so the show is different. It's based on a novel.
Hold on, you forgot the co-lead actress, his wife.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, the lovely Jennifer Connelly. Yes. So it's a sci-fi now based on a sci-fi novel about a man traveling through the multiverse and stuff. He basically gets stuck. He's trying to find his way home. And, was pretty decent for, non-alien, non-Terminator type sci-fi, like good, make you think kind of sci-fi. So that's why it's on my list this year.
What was that other? Was it like the 3-body problem?
Yeah, I didn't see that
this
one.
year?
Yeah, I saw that.
Was it good?
This year.
I didn't see
Yeah,
it. So.
no,
Yeah,
that
was
was
this year.
good. I'm surprised you didn't watch it because that
It was on my list, but I never got around to it. So
it's
early
along
in the year,
that thought-provoking
yeah.
sci-fi as opposed to action sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Dark Matter gets our first spot in the list. James, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Cobra Kai, season 6, part 2.
Good season. Good season.
Didn't watch that either. Our lists are going to be very different this year. Very different.
Cobra Kai, this is the final season, but it was broken into 3 parts. Part 1 was during the summer. Part 2 was right before the holidays. 6 episodes each, I think. I can't recall. So it left in a major cliffhanger, without spoiling it, that will now segue into next year, this year, we're 2025, next year. The final arc, part 3, which will conclude not only the Cobra Kai season, but also the entire series. And that's supposed to leapfrog us into the Karate Kid universe, whatever they're calling it. The movie,
right. You're getting the crossover.
The trailer
movie.
dropped already with Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. So somehow this will all be connected. But this was my 5th favorite TV show of the year.
Okay. So for me, you're gonna start to see a pattern here, but I struggled with this pick. Not because I had any lack of good television that I watched this year. And I'm going to go with X-Men 97.
Honorable
Season
mention. My number one honorable mention.
season 1. I guess it's season 1, but it's like reboot, restart, continuation of the actual 90s series. So I don't know what you want to call it. But I'll have to say, big win for Marvel this year for their television, which was relatively weak.
Oh,
Put it. Agatha was great, but anyway, um, the just so many spectacular moments that made everybody talk about it again, that brought the X-Men back into the everyday geek conversation. Not that they really leave too far, but it was nice to see them back, as they start getting some more life for the MCU coming up in the next few years. But great animation, great storytelling, um, and just exciting to see them back as a longtime X Men fan. So
Yeah,
that's my number
so
5.
X Men is also on my list. So
Okay, is it your number 4?
yes, actually.
Well, then you're going to number 4. So if you want to,
honorable mention number one for me. By the way, Dark Matter was number 10, Mike.
oh, nice,
Yeah, on your honorables.
Yeah.
Okay.
so you're
Yeah,
number 4
so
anyway. So
I agree with what you said. I when they brought the show back, I was thinking more of the cheesy '90s. Like even the '90s one wasn't as cheesy. There was a lot of messaging behind it and a lot of good storytelling. Probably some better stuff than we got in MCU Phase 4 storytelling, right?
right, yeah, no, I agree.
And but the way they came back fierce, they came back hard with this show, and
They even
really
killed
impressive.
somebody. Like I was not prepared.
Yeah,
Killed many folks.
yeah.
That's true.
hmm And Magneto brought it, so
Yeah, Magneto had some quotables, man. You talk
yep.
about rap verses, it's Kendrick and Magneto.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring back rap battles. Is that what we're doing? All right, James, that's your number 4.
My number 4 is Arcane Season Dos.
Woo! I don't know if that's
I'm
on
not
my list. Let me look.
I'm not gonna wax poetic because I'm sure one of you two, hint hint, is gonna probably have a much better summation of the show. This season I like better than the first season, and I thought it was probably the best added. In fact, it is because I put X Men '97 out of my top 5 best animated show I've watched this year, but also among the actual live action shows, I had to include it in my top 5 at number 4. I was impressed with everything that I saw from the first episode to the final episode, and that's all I'm going to say. And I'm sure Chris is going to, you know,
I'll wait till it hits my point in the list.
all right. Let's
Yeah,
hear
I
it.
didn't. I didn't. It's on my list, but it's not on my list because I know Chris was going to have it on his list. So
No, you
Okay.
can't do
I
that.
made room for other things that I thought were really good.
All
So
right. All right. For number 4, I'm gonna do the first cheat, and that is two things I could not pick between. Two shows that I are kind of inextricably linked by when they came out and some of the similarities in storytelling, but the differences made me kind of question whether or not I could pick between them. And that would be Dan to Dan, which I've been talking about for a while,
You
and
have.
posted quite
Yeah.
a bit about, and one called Gentry Chow versus the Underworld, which is really amazing. It took me by surprise pretty immediately. I wasn't expecting this. There's a lot of base similarities to the story if you were to do that, but I was really loved the characters, and I thought it ended much stronger than Dan, which had a
Yeah.
pretty weak finale. Um, but they're just great. They were wonderful watches. They were two of the shows that I wanted to watch the next episode immediately. Like that's how I know I'm liking a show is if I stop and I go, okay, I got to watch the next episode. I just got to
Mm,
watch it,
yeah.
but whether it's out or not. And there's a lot of shows I've watched, even great shows like Shogun, where I was like, all right, I watched it. I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna watch something else. I'm gonna do whatever. Maybe because they're heavier and whatever, but that's what it is. Those two, I suggest go checking those out. Those
Did
are
you
my
mention
number
what
4.
platform our audience can find you?
Gentry Chow is on Netflix. And Dan to Dan is on
Is it also on
Crunchyroll is where I've been watching it.
It's
It
also on
may
Netflix.
be elsewhere as well.
It's on Netflix as well.
Okay. So yeah, one's American production, one's a Japanese production. So it gives you a little, but they're both, yeah, that's really what it is. Great. All right,
Thanks.
number 3. Mike, what's your number 3?
Oh, I'll let James go first this time.
Oh, we'll go back around the other way.
There you go.
James, what's
Thank
your
you,
number
kind
3?
sir.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3 is The Penguin. The Penguin is a show that, of course, for those of you who don't know, it's on HBO Max. It's a somewhat of a spinoff, as well as a sequel from the Matt Reeves Batman movie that came out a few years ago, 2 years ago. Colin Farrell plays the titular. Where's Brooks? The titular character, the Penguin, with other supporting cast that are superb themselves. Christina Milioti, I'm probably killing her name once again. I'm doing a Chris.
Fantastic.
And other folks. This was probably my favorite. Actually, yeah, it was my favorite comic book superhero show of the year. Show, not movie. Again, I'm sure one of you guys would probably go crazy on this one, but I think it was hard to not give it the credit that it got during the award season, because when you look at the acting performances by everyone, yeah, Colin Farrell won the Golden Globes for wearing a prosthetic outfit, but if you go beyond just the layer, no pun intended, of what he was putting on the screen and all the supporting cast, and then the plot, the story, the narratives, the finale, this was one of the hardest to beat shows, and my other two are up there. So yeah, kudos to the cast. I was fortunate to see at Comic Con this past year, then do a little panel before it, and they were hyping it up, and I'm like, maybe. They were right.
Yeah, I think we were all taken aback
They
by the
were fucking
Penguin.
right. Yeah.
Um,
That's my number
it's up
3.
there. It's number 2, so I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oof.
But yeah,
Mike.
Mike,
Mikey.
did you have Penguin on the list?
Me?
Yes, you.
I did not, because it's on my honorables, but I figured one of you would have it anyway.
I want to see what you're. It's like you're going out on a date with somebody. You're like, oh, she's gonna order this, so I'm not gonna order that too. Let me
Exactly.
Order. No,
Just
order
pick
what
what
you
you
want
like.
to eat.
But this way we can share, man.
You can share our top 5. Oh my god.
Joey
Alright,
doesn't share food.
What do you got? What do you
what's
got?
your number 3?
So my number 3, I am gonna go with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So what I did though, like for my official list, I didn't want to pick shows that had been out already and just coming back with another season. I have quite a few of those shows that I really liked, but I'm trying to stick with just
Limited
brand new
series.
shows. Yeah, new series for 2024. And I thought Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Donald Glover, uh, what was on Prime Video, right? I thought it was a good way to start the series. I thought they had good chemistry together, and it was a good action spy drama. So
It did not make my honorables.
No,
Wow.
that's number, if I 1, 2, 7. I guess if we'd count 2 for number 4, it's number 7 on my list.
Cheater.
It's up there. It was a great
did
series,
make my
and I
list.
struggled not putting it up there.
Did not make top 21 for me.
But that's supposed to be coming back for another season. So
yeah, except
Yeah.
new characters. So a new Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
oh, is
Really?
that what
I
they're
didn't
doing
hear
with
that.
it?
Yeah, the two of them are not coming back.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's for a show. That's an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah, we'll see who they get, right?
Oh,
So
other shows do that, like True Detective.
yeah,
No, I don't like where this is going.
we'll see. We'll see if they can pull it off. So
Good spy genre this year.
yeah.
Dubs,
It
Mr. and
is.
Mrs. Smith.
Some shows that I could not put on that are in progress.
That is a tough
Jackal.
one.
Mm-hmm.
There's one I have though.
Slow horses.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched Silo because I put it off for the year. So it
I
won't.
am enjoying Silo. I know James is not, but I am really enjoying season 2.
I did like this. This last episode was good.
Yeah, I like the split drama right now, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, Chris. But
Okay, well, I've got to wait for my family. So,
yeah,
all right.
Famous last words.
So my number 3 is probably something you guys have never heard of, and that is because it came out very early in the year, and you guys probably ignored me when I talked about it. And it's Free Ren Beyond Journey's End. This
Oh
is an
fuck!
anime that came out at the beginning of this year.
You ate this shit up.
It's it's completely off base to what I'm normally more action oriented um, of the genre.
is there a
And
giant octopus in it?
no,
Oh,
she is
Oh,
a couple 100-year old elf. The the yep. The show starts after the party has defeated the dark entity, and so
hmm.
she's just kind of going about her business when all of her human friends die. Yeah, just of normal causes, just long life, happy things. But then she starts to realize she didn't really spend the time she should have to get to know her friends that she spent 10 years on a journey with.
this
And
is
so
animated or live action?
animated. So the whole story is a very slow paced um, reflection on her history and getting to know and using the time you have, getting to know the people around you, and kind of a very human look at a long life. And it was really interesting. I did not expect it, and I was just completely involved in this show. I just can't stop thinking about it. So it's my number 3 for the year. Um, you James, you probably read Jomi talking about it if you read his
Probably. And I
Jomi
probably
stories.
had the same reaction too. Like,
You're like,
mm,
well, I don't know what this is, and you probably
yeah.
wouldn't want to watch it if you watched it, but yeah, it hit me pretty hard. So, especially if you're old and you're thinking about being old, and you're
Oh
thinking
my god!
about long life.
I definitely don't want to watch it now.
Yeah, Free Ren, Beyond Journey's End,
Where?
also
What
on
service is it on?
Crunchyroll.
Crunch.
But yeah,
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll.
Mm.
All
I'm
right.
sure.
So we'll do number 2. I'll go first for number 2
Okay.
because I'm doing the Penguin. Um, just like James, this was a shocker of a series. I know we all liked the Penguin character in the Batman movie. That's kind of popped off. Everybody was laughing. He had great
Yeah.
lines. Couldn't tell who the actor was, kind of stuff. But
Ma, go
man,
get dinner.
this show being the only live action show that reached my top 7,
Mm.
it really was fantastic. Every episode was had you at the edge of your seat. They always had something great, some piece of amazing acting from some character in every episode. You couldn't turn it off. You couldn't skip it. Um, yeah, the Penguin, fantastic.
Excellent.
All
Excellent.
right, um, James, number 2.
My number 2 is Amazon's Rings of Power season dos. Yes.
Yeah,
I got
wow.
you. I knew we were
All right,
not
I'm
going
not gonna. I can't say anything because I haven't watched it, so I'm not gonna. I did watch, I think, the first episode of the season,
to. Okay.
but I haven't
So,
finished it. So
perfect segue. I
I'll
was
be
about to
fair.
say,
Yeah.
season 1 was received with a lot of mixed
That was my when that came out.
sentiments.
Season 1 was mine. I loved that.
Season 1, in my opinion, was not too terrible, but it
Mhm.
wasn't good.
But they closed it well. I loved the close of that
What
season.
was it? Okay, so if you
Yeah.
like the close of that season,
Hmm.
you're gonna like, and the first 2 episodes don't really bring it home.
Okay.
The rest of the season 2. By the way, they got 3 more seasons, which I did not
Hmm.
realize.
Hmm.
And I don't know how far they might actually bring it to right before the Hobbit. But this season piggyback off the first season with now with the, again, spoiler for season 1, the reveal of who Sauron actually was and his machinations on getting the rings of power being created. And this season does that with the main skeleton of the Silmarillion and the other books of
Mm.
J.R.R. Tolkien. But it added, this is where some people are going to actually like this season better because they took out all the extra characters from season 1, because in season 1 you're juggling like maybe 20 main characters.
Yeah.
Felt like
And some of them are still in season 2, but it was more laser focused on 4 or 5 main characters, and the stories and how they all intertwine. The acting was spectacular. The music, the action, you could tell the CGI money was, I don't know whether it's bigger in this season or just had different folks working on the special effects in season 2.
Mm.
Mhm.
But one of my best moments was the Balrog. Without spoiling it, let's just say there's a Balrog scene
Mhm.
that is even better than
In
the
the
Lord of the
movie?
Rings Fellowship movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, I
Okay.
can see season 1 not holding your interest. I mean, sorry, season 1 not holding your interest, but also episode 1 of season 2.
Mm.
But if you could power through the second episode, I think you'll change your mind.
All right. It's still on my list. I haven't given up on it, but
Well,
it's just kind of at the bottom there. So.
see, this is where we differed, is because I was so into season 1, and they kind of I thought season 2 was kind of a backtrack, not a
Oh,
backtrack. It didn't like it's not like they did a Rise of Skywalker or any bullshit like that. I just think where
Yeah.
the story and the
Somehow
character,
Sauron returned.
right? Well, yes, but the way the stories played out was a little less interesting. The target characters were a little less interesting to me. I missed a lot of Poppy. I'm a Hobbit fan. I'm gonna say that, and
Plus,
but
wait,
I still enjoy the series. I'm not here to trounce on it. It was still good.
I'd
Did
be
not make my
interested
top
in
10.
you watching season 2 and what your take is. Since
We we
it's
we reviewed this. I'm pretty sure
mm-hmm.
we talked about this.
yeah, we did.
But yeah,
That's my number 2.
all right.
Yeah, and well, plus I wasn't happy when Bronwyn wasn't coming back. So
Which one's Bronwyn?
she was in love with the elf dude.
Oh yeah. She's toast.
She was the
She's
mom,
not
the
gonna
single
fit.
mom.
Again, unnecessary start. I'm glad it's not in season.
Yeah, but her kid's still there, and
But
he's
the kid, yeah,
he's
the
Oh,
the
is
one,
most
he?
boring character.
yeah, he's probably one of the weaker characters.
Did they
The
just kill her
humans,
off in the show?
all the
Because the
humans
actress
are.
didn't come back. So
I find all the humans mostly boring in this show.
mm. So it's just like a Transformers movie then.
Yeah, yes. It's like, why are we talking about humans when we have giant robots and elves? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
All right.
Mike, number 2.
All right, so my number 2 is actually going to be Fallout.
Woo! Wow, high on the
Didn't
list.
even make it.
Top. It hit just to hit the top 10.
Yeah, so I thought it was a great adaptation. It's so hard because we talked about bad comic book adaptations, video game adaptations into series, um, but they did a great job with Fallout. You know, they didn't hold back. They spent the money. They wrote the story. You know, they had some great actors. What's his face? No, Mr. No Nose was fantastic in it.
Oh yeah,
Ella Purcell was great in it. So
Purnell.
Yeah, sorry, Purnell. So I'm looking forward to the next season.
It won the video game awards for best series,
Yeah.
best adaptive series.
What else was it going up against? Anyway?
Arcane,
Oh, shit.
Which she was also in. So
which she was also a star voice actress in.
yeah,
Double the paycheck.
yeah. So that's my number 2 there.
Yeah, it's like Haley Seinfeld. She makes great acting choices in the series and stuff she's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go number 1. And James, I'll let you go first. What is your number 1 series for 2024?
My number 1 is FX's Hulu's Shogun. It goes without
Woo!
saying. Cream of the crop. The Golden
Rise
Goal.
to the top, but never. Oh,
So
can't say that one out loud.
that's my number 1 as well. So
House of Pain over here. Oh, Shogun, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna wax poetic. Chris got that. But yeah, it was a fantastic show, beginning to end. I was never familiar with the original book that it was adapted from. So to me, I didn't know how far the story was going to go. I was pleasantly surprised with the ending. A lot of heart, a lot of depth. Obviously, the casting was phenomenal. And And yeah, I mean, to me, and it's so funny hearing how now that I know like the story going on Wikipedia, how Hulu's gonna resurrect somehow these characters to do a season two
I
over the
know. I'm disappointed in that.
well,
I'm actually kind of
like
disappointed.
Like,
it's like I wish they just let it die, but now that I know that it's gonna have a season two, so I'm like,
like
yeah, let me just give
Watchmen,
it.
but at least Watchmen had a story you could continue.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, that was my A+, my only A+ of the year.
Yeah,
Mike, what do you have to say?
that was my number one as well. All the actors have gotten their accolades this year. Appropriately, deservingly, at the Globes and at the Emmy so far. I too. I'm not. I don't know what's gonna happen for season two because you have this great source material in the novel adapted really well in this 10 episode series,
Hmm.
and now you're gonna Game of Thrones season 7 it, go beyond the book, you know, and then it becomes a mess, right? So, but hopefully not. We'll see.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I did end up finishing that because it was a good series. I did lose it halfway through the year. As you can see, I do kind of watch a lot of stuff that you guys don't watch. Actually, we all have our own things that we
I was gonna
watch
say when you hear my
that we
honorable mentions, you'll be like, "What?"
but I did finish it, and it consistently had great acting, had consistently great sets, had consistently great costumes. Like, it was a very consistently great show, and it's just a tough year for me for TV with how many shows I was excited to watch, and having that one fall off and me have to come back to it. It just couldn't reach my top 10 after that.
Agreed.
All right. Hmm. Oh, I guess that's me. My number one of the year. I don't know if you guys can guess this. This is gonna be a tough one for everybody, but it is Arcane. It is it is Arcane season two. Um, I have talked about this ad nauseum for you guys, for anybody who's on our Blue Sky account, for anybody who's
Blue
talked to me in
Sky.
person.
There's Pete
Um,
Conroy.
I think it's the greatest television show I've ever watched. Uh,
Ever? Whoa,
ever
whoa,
watched. It immediately hit my number one. It bypassed Avatar: The
I
Last
don't know.
Airbender.
I wouldn't go
Bat,
there, but it's good.
Avatar: The Last
Bat,
Bender was your previous number one. Oh my
mhm.
God, this
Batman the Animated Series.
your list
Goodbye.
is
Sorry.
cocky.
Oh, bye bye Naruto. Bypass that. All my
Oh my
stuff is just
God, your list is crazy of greatest shows ever.
they are.
Anyway, go ahead. I respect it.
They are all of the ones I have rewatched. I have never rewatched a single other series.
You never finished watching Supernatural, which is one of my top five. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and like I am not excited to watch the next episode because it's going to be the same thing again. Like this is a show that had every character have actual lives, motivations, and purpose, and follow through with that through the entire series. I don't think I've ever seen that before in another series, to be honest.
there's some characters that got left off here and there from season one, season two. But whatever.
Right.
This is
I
yours.
know, I know, I know. I loved. I mean, it hit your top five, so I was surprised at that. It just shows you. I think the animation is some of the best, if not the best, I've ever seen. Up there with the likes of Akira and whatnot. And
Mhm.
so, I'm not gonna spend all of our time with that. I'm just gonna. You guys know what it is. Go check out our review. Go go link to ask me on Blue Sky what I think about it, and we'll talk about
What
it.
is this blue sky you speak of?
1,500 wonderful people,
Oh
including
wow.
some porn bots and some crypto bros. But other than that, real people, wonderful people. Talk talk to me online. Anyway, that's my number one for the year for 2024. Same as it was for 2023. 2022? 2022 is when the first season. All right. So that's it. That's our top 5 list. Maybe Mike could put up a list so people can see it. I don't know.
You want to throw in our worst
And
TV show before we segue into?
and so last thing we're gonna do for fun, we don't hate anybody. We know people work hard, but we are going to talk about the things that we like the least, the one thing that each of us like the least for the year. We're not going to do an exhaustive list here. You want me to just go first because I got it right here?
Go for it.
It is, speaking of, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action series. This it was hokey, it was obnoxious, it had some good points, some maybe some fun action set pieces, but oh my god, it just from being one of my if at one point my favorite all time series to this, I had to put it as the worst thing of the year. It was
Wow.
terrible.
I actually enjoyed it.
I know I'm disappointed.
It was a big step up from M. Night's version, for one.
Oh well, that
Which I heard
jeez,
was bad too.
Yeah, that was terrible. So,
the bar's in hell for that one.
but yeah, there was probably I could think of if I haven't really thought of a bunch of worse stuff. Secret Invasion wasn't this year, was it?
No,
It was
No,
last year.
it was last year.
Yeah, but I think honestly, I think the Acolyte was worse than that. So
no, the Acolyte had amazing action set pieces that
And two
put that
episodes
that
yeah,
put Avatar
out
to
of the
shame.
6.
If Avatar even had anything like that, then maybe it would pop up.
That's a
But
33% hit rate.
the Acolyte started off strong and then went downhill so fast and so deep that it was just
yeah,
like
but the Avatar
And it
never
disappeared.
started strong
yeah.
either.
Literally
I
disappeared.
mean, and think about which one got canceled and which one's coming back, right? So.
Exactly.
It does not make it any better.
Well, according to the viewership, it does, I
So that,
guess.
Mike, that's your worst?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess it's my turn here. I had 3 choices. And real quick on each 3. Rebel Moon Part 2.
Oh my god,
That was a
that's a
terrible. That
movie.
was.
That's
That's a
not a
movie.
TV. That's a movie.
Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's spoiler alert. Edit that
No.
out. I
Don't
was
worry,
looking
that
at the
hit my
wrong
movie
list.
list
All
too.
right, so worst TV shows really was just 2.
Okay,
Acolyte, which
Hmm.
was in that that list, but one show was worse.
what?
The Mayfair Witches.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't even bother
I
watching it.
couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
AMC. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a diehard Anne Rice since high school. I read
Yeah.
every single one of her books, even when she went ultra Christian and started changing the entire lore of the vampires.
Mhm.
So I was very familiar with the story, and from episode 1 through the finale, I was just upset and angry. And my sister, who's been on this podcast before, is always like texting me after every episode. We're sharing grief and anger, and it was just like the worst television show probably the last 2 years.
Oh
That
wow,
includes Secret Invasion. That includes everything on Disney Plus.
wow.
Hmm.
Um,
That's
it's
that's some
terrible. It,
strong
I
feelings.
went on and before I read a review that said that it was like a terrible daytime soap opera
Hmm.
with better budget. That says it all.
All right.
So
So
yeah, that's my
before we
worst.
head out, what is a shout out? A show that wasn't gonna make your list, or a type of you know documentary or live you know competition show or something.
I don't even have that. I have stuff that I didn't put on my official top 5, like some of the stuff you guys pick, like Penguin,
Yeah,
right?
thing. Like
But
I call them honorable mentions.
yeah,
Okay.
like I have a
If
few of
you
those.
don't,
I have
let's do that at the end.
All right.
I had Penguin. I had Baby Reindeer.
I have that on mine. That's number
Yeah,
2.
that was a good one. That guy won. He won a Globe, didn't he? Last weekend.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, wasn't it for best?
I think he robbed the person that should have won
Yeah.
it.
A lot of Apple TV still killing it. Like I said, Silo
Yeah,
was great.
let's save that for the end because I think some of that stuff is going to kind of marry
Well, this
into.
is the end of TV, so we are
Yeah, we're
jumping
pretty
into.
much at the end of
Oh,
our
all
TV
right. If
episode,
that's the
right?
case, for me, I had X-Men 97. I had
Mm.
Lioness season 2 on Prime.
Mm.
Industry season 3 on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
I had a limited series, Fight Night, on Peacock that came with Kevin Hart, Sam Jackson.
Mm.
Phenomenal show. It was based on Muhammad Ali, the night that a bunch of these gangsters and thugs got robbed during the Ali fight.
Oh. Hmm.
His comeback fight. Elspeth, season 1 on CBS.
Mm.
Fantastic show. From
Yes.
season 3 MGM Plus, Hysteria season 1 on Peacock. What We Do in the Shadows. This was their final season.
Don't
Sadly, a
care.
perfect ending. Dark Matter, you mentioned. Chaos, a show on Netflix with Jeff Goldblum based on the gods. Our own Heroes Peak, Keith put me onto that show. Chaos, Kaos.
The Netflix one with Jeff Goldblum, you said?
Yeah, where he
I
plays
couldn't
Zeus.
I couldn't finish it, man. I don't know why. It just didn't keep me interested.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Cross just came
Cross was
out
good.
recently, season
Hmm.
1 on Prime. Um, After that, oh, The Bachelorette. This last season was phenomenal. This was a season where we had our first Asian
Where's
Bachelorette.
Brooksy? Where's Brooks?
He doesn't watch. That's Real Housewives, which I'll get to next.
Oh,
So The Bachelorette had an episode, had a season where there's the first Asian actress, the first Asian Bachelorette, and she eliminated all the Asian males in like the first third of the show. Wound up with this douchebag who, before the finale, the way they do it now is they film it, you watch along, and then there's like a reunion, not a reunion, but like a after show. But in the finale, like her energy was so low, and the audience didn't know why until it was revealed that after she was proposed to the guy, he kind of ghosted her and broke it off. It was all just for TV. So ABC, being the king of drama provoking, had them on the couch and then asked questions and basically gaslit him to the point where he was like broke. He was breaking down in front of America's eyes. Fantastic season. And the last one, Traitors on Peacock, which is a reality competition show that features a lot of the Bravo, NBC cast, Real Housewives, some of the CBS, MTV, Survivor folks, Real Housewives of Sunset, all of them. And it's based on trying to figure out amongst your group who's the spy, like the werewolf games, but live action. Great season, phenomenal casting. And season 2 is dropping in a week with all new actors, including former football players, D-list celebrities. The guy from Vanderpump Rules. If Brooks was here, she would appreciate that. Fantastic show.
all right. So I guess mine would be Bad Batch season 3.
I forgot about that.
I forgot all about it. That's why I keep a list, running list. Bad Batch season 3, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which we already talked about. Legend of Vox Machina season 3 also came out. I don't know, you guys aren't watching that either. Um, Monarch, the first season made my list.
Hmm.
Really
Made my
enjoyed that.
list. Yeah, it should
Speaking
have been my
speaking
list.
of Shogun actress,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Fallout made the bottom of my list, and the procedurals. Will Will Trent, Elsbeth, High Potential, great triumvirate of murder procedurals this year.
Family members, I love that show.
So that's it. That's our top 5, bottom 1, and a little few shout outs for those. And that's it for this. I'm going to thank you guys for joining us for our 2024 end of year television spectacular. We'll be back soon. We'll do movies as well, and come see us on social media. Mike, where can people find us?
As usual, all over the internet. Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I think we're still on Twitter sometimes.
I
Um,
check. Nobody talks to us.
yeah, but don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Let us know what TV shows you thought were great last year.
If you do mention us, I will find it. So just do it.
Yep. Yeah, let us know. Like, what are you looking forward to this year? Would love to hear about that too.
I have no idea what's coming out, so I don't. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. See you next week.
Night.
All right.
Hey, Indigo made the beat.